Only on the OnlyFans.
Yeah, exactly. You want the pre-show? Subscribe to the Patreon for $29.99 a week.
Spoiler alert: you don't want the pre-show.
The pre-com?
A week.
Oh my god!
Where do you think the money comes from?
Anyone who's willing to pay that needs to fucking check up from the neck up.
Anyone who is willing to pay that, contact me.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll do whatever, bro. $30 a week, send it, bro. You want pre-show? I'll give you some pre-show. Easy.
I'll do whatever it takes to cop a PS5, bro. And just hit me up.
Okay, relax. I'll buy you a PS5.
You get the money, you won't get the bloody console until 2021.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll release a new wave.
Everywhere in Australia, I've checked. The only places that say there might be getting more in by the end of November is JB Hi-Fi. Everywhere else saying they're not getting more shipments until 2021. That is Big W, Target, EB Games, Kmart, the works. I checked every site.
Whoa. You guys have Target, EB Games, and Kmart?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The thing is with that, they're trying, like, they won't tell the distributors that they're making more until they decide they're making more and they pull the trigger on it. So they're probably going to wait until like the beginning of November to tell them. So that way there's going to be stuff in for the Black Friday that isn't happening.
Oh, yeah, that's happening. Yeah. Without a doubt, that's happening.
Well, it's going to be
online Black Friday is just it's happening.
Apparently, a couple of places in the States are just not doing it.
This is America.
Yeah, that's America. We're talking Australia. Half the time we do our Black Friday shopping online.
Well, yeah, like they're all going like virtual basically in these states now.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
I'm kind of culturally ignorant. When does the PS5 come out?
November
12th.
And the pre-order sold out in 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was weird for me because I woke up the day that like the whole thing got announced, and I watched the conference. I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. I want to go pre-order one. I just went to JB Hi-Fi, pre-ordered it straight away, and then I go on Twitter, and everyone's like, I can't get a PS5.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, and there's these dickheads ordering like 5 to 10 PS5s.
Yeah,
like,
those guys.
Of course there is. Of course there is.
They're selling them on eBay for like $4,000.
Screw that. If you pay $4,000 for a PS5, you're actually a glue eater.
It's fucked. So the thing is, I was at work that whole time. Like, I did an overnight shift, so I didn't even know the conference was going on. Otherwise, I would have like obviously pre-ordered one.
Yeah.
That's
or get one of the new graphics cards, the 3080, whatever it
is. Scalpers, you know, I was like, scammers and the bots. Shout out NVIDIA, not even having a capture at all to be able to purchase it whatsoever.
Yeah. I'm waiting until next year. I was gonna upgrade this year, but
there's no point right now.
I'm not gonna get a 3080 or a 3090 this year.
Nah, there's there's no point.
Nah, just get the Xbox, dude.
Just get. Hey, bro, get yourself an Xbox, fam.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually genuinely surprised that after all this time, they haven't even announced like a Switch Pro or anything like that.
Oh, so there's
rumors for a Switch Pro next year.
Well, there's a rumor for a new Switch model.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It could be like another Switch Lite type of shit.
No, that wouldn't be another Switch Lite.
It's another
Switch Pro.
Because they also discontinued the 3DS this week.
Yeah, I did see that.
If I ever...
You have no idea how old that makes me feel.
Yeah.
That's just 9 years old. Come on, cuz.
Yeah.
Maybe 90s of it. It's still better than the fucking
Switch. It's fucking amazing.
What was it, the Wii U?
Wii U.
Oh,
yeah.
I never got the Wii U.
The Wii U had so much potential.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I only played like Smash, and it was fun.
Breath of the Wild was on the Wii U.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild was originally designed for the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the Switch was so easy to develop for. They're like, let's just do a simultaneous release.
That was such an L for all Wii U owners.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad because I bought one like a year after it came out, and I only like played it for like maybe like a day's worth, and then eventually and then like before the Switch was announced, I actually sold the Wii U for for the same amount that I bought it for.
Yeah, Wii U.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Yeah, it was so good. And then like after I sold it, like a month or two later, they announced the Switch. I'm like, yes.
I honestly do not remember you having a Wii U for the life of me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I had one.
because everyone's suppressed the memories of the Wii U.
I sold it to some dude in Queensland.
Dummy, stupid.
Yeah, winning. So yeah,
you know what else is winning? Another episode of GGP. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 27 of the Good, Great, Perfect podcast. Deal, you've ruined the intro. We're going to keep it rolling. We are here today with another special guest. You guys are getting very, very fortunate. All these listeners, you're getting back-to-back special guests. Today we have another special guest for you. We have Solaris here to join us for another episode of GGP. What's going on, Solaris?
What's going on, guys? I'm just chilling, hanging out, shooting the shit.
That's it, as we always do. I've got the whole crew here today.
Even Joba's here today.
Here today. Round of applause for Joba.
A miracle.
Man. I was telling you guys, like, as soon as I woke up and I realized I missed the episode, I told everyone, I feel like the Blitz from How I Met Your Mother. You know, the guy that misses all the epic events. Like, I can't even bring myself to watch the episode because I feel so bad that I missed it. I feel so left out.
That's all right.
But
if you guys have missed it, you should definitely check it out.
Check it out in the top right-hand corner. You can click that
out. I heard it was the best episode ever.
It's probably the best episode of all time we've done.
Wait. Can we just dwell the fact that you guys? I heard it was the best episode ever. Does that mean he hasn't listened to it?
That's what he's been saying for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, Joba doesn't want to listen to it because he feels he'll start crying during the episode.
Do we really let him in this episode if he hasn't heard the previous?
Joba's allowed.
Mid-episode.
Definitely.
Straight up,
his contract up.
These guys just saying it's the best episode ever because I wasn't on it. Fucking traitors.
That's cap.
That's cap. That is cap.
That's false.
You make everything better, Joba.
It is literally the best episode of GGP ever. And
I'm gonna record.
We were like upset for you that you weren't there because like it would have been so good to have everyone there for that. Yeah. But either way, it is what it is.
We just kept saying like, dude, imagine being Joba right now. Like,
it's easy fix. We just got to have them both on again.
We can do that.
We will.
Exactly
we can easily do that. But before we think about that stuff, let's get cracking on with this episode, gentlemen. So, you know, we have a lot to talk about today. There's been some pretty interesting things happening in the world of One Piece Treasure Cruise.
I mean, before we get into it, like we do have like a full episode plan, but I think the number one thing we should start with is the producer video, despite whatever the episode says.
I agree. But yeah, so we have a lot to talk about. We have JP had a bunch of stuff come out, some new limit break expansions. TM Jinbe happened. They got some new World Journey potential units coming out in January. New story mode island, some new we call it PvP, PF, PR. I don't know yet. Some new
Rumble units.
New Rumble units have come out, and we got some V jump links that were actually confirmed quite recently. On the global side of the game, like Todd said, we have the producer video, which is what we'll start with. We have a new Global First Legend, which is very exciting, and then we have a confirmed update for 10.0. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, that 10.0 was came out of nowhere, man. I had no idea it was coming.
We've probably been talking about for the last 8 episodes.
Exactly.
But and then also, as always, we have questions from Twitter and from the YouTube community tab. But without further ado, gentlemen, let's start with a little introduction about Solaris. You know, I'm going to put you on the spot here, Solaris. You know, just some general questions. How'd you get into One Piece Treasure Cruise? What was your whole journey in that sense? How'd you get into the community and all that?
All right. So where did I start?
Where did I start? That's a good question.
Yeah. I started watching One Piece pretty later on in my life. Like I was like mid-teens, late teens. I'm sure it was one of my friends recommending it to me. And I forget where the story was in that point, but it was definitely past 3-day 2-year. And I managed to watch and catch up to the entire thing within the span of like a few weeks.
Right. Yep.
So I was watching probably like 16 episodes a day during like a school like semester. So I was not paying attention in class.
Oh, naturally.
But the main question is, did you ever watch the 4Kids dub?
I actually never found it.
Oh no, you're missing out.
Never found it. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard it's got the best opening in the whole series.
Without a doubt.
It does, 100%.
The opening isn't terrible, but
It's the only redeeming quality of the 4 kids.
yeah,
Come
it really is. But so I was like very into One Piece at that time, and that was around the time that One Piece came out. So I actually was almost ground floor. I think I was like 1 month or 2 month in to launch
Of Treasure Cruise.
of Treasure Cruise, yeah.
Yeah.
And I played with one of my friends, and I actually didn't find any of the Reddit communities or anything like that because I wasn't big on social media at that time.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't do it at all. And then I found like the YouTube community and the Reddit community, and then I started becoming like more familiar with the community.
Mhm.
And then the original database. So this is something that people mistake a lot of the time.
Yeah,
I didn't
this-
make the
this-
database.
This is what I wanted because I had a couple. There were questions in here about people
Yeah.
asking about how you made the database, but I don't think a lot of people know the actual like origin story of the database and how that came about.
Yeah, because a lot of the people who are involved with the original database are just gone. Even like I'm probably third adjacent to the closest or to the person who made the database. I
Mhm.
never spoke to the guy, but he was we don't even know his name. He
Yeah,
was
this
just
is the- an anonymous.
he was an anonymous user on 4chan on the 4chan One Piece Treasure Cruise community. And after like I think it was, I mean, you can look at the site. The site's still up.
Mm.
It's just the database link without the -db in it.
Mm.
But he got maybe like 600 characters in, and then he quit the game. And why in your right mind would you continue working on this when you don't have interest in the game? So he passed it on to Mon Fisher and Zenigami, who initially had the project like separately, and then they realized they were both working on it, so they decided to join up, I believe.
Mhm.
And they were maintaining it for a while. So that was when stuff like Rare Recruit Tashigi came out, and we had like the new Affinity debuff. Like a lot of those developments in the database happened in that time.
Yeah.
And then after a while, around the time I think I was graduating high school, or I'll just say my age. I was like 17, 18, around that age. I was into programming a little bit, and I wanted to do stuff in my free time. So I started doing the database updates for the admins at the time.
Yeah.
And then after a while, they were just like, yeah, just we don't need to check your updates. You can go ahead and just be an admin. And as long as you're active about it, then you're good. And then eventually I just was doing all the updates because I was doing them faster. Because at that time I was like early university days, so I didn't really have that much to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then eventually it just became all mine, and all the other admins who used to work on it have now quit the game or are just doing something else completely. And yeah, that's basically where I've been in terms of the database. But
So
I've always
it's just
been like,
you.
right now I am the main person who has like update control and everything of the database, who like still does anything. There are about 20 or 30 people who all contribute in some way or another to the database, and like a bunch more people, but like 20 or 30 significant people. Like there's the people who do translations, people who do data mining, like
Right,
there's but they basically just collect information and translations and just pass them to me, and then I get everything filtered through.
Mhm.
But the database is open source, and that means that it's not owned by anyone, and anyone can contribute to it. It's just a couple people have contributed to it in the past, and I've gotten critical of like how they wrote code or how they did certain things. Like they didn't have full understanding of the database, so it was pretty frequent that I had to fix a lot of their stuff.
Yep.
However, I do make a lot of mistakes too, so I have to fix a lot of my stuff. But regardless, it like if you're submitting something to me and you say it's done, at least make sure that it's done and check it.
I was gonna ask for people that want to get involved or like think that they like, they want to help in that sense, what would be the best way to go about it?
So you can create a GitHub account and go to the database GitHub page, which if you just Google GitHub and then OPTC-DB, it It'll be one of the first things there. From there, you can download the entire database and look at the code. So if you're familiar with programming, then you can take a look at everything and like try to feel your way around. Or you can also join the database Discord, which is strictly for use of the database. There's a link on the database on the character table at the top for it. But that's the best place to get in touch with me. So if you have any questions about the database, or like if you're looking at the code and you don't understand what something says, you can always ask me there. Or if there's something wrong with the database, which there usually is, you can tell me in that Discord.
Yeah, there was something wrong with the database.
They haven't seen that video yet, though. They haven't seen that video yet.
That's right.
This podcast is coming out before that video. So,
no.
So
you're about to get roasted.
Unfortunately, yeah. Next week, you make sure you watch the GGP Extra next week. That's all I'm gonna say.
But, no.
It's nothing major, but it's funny.
It's funny. It's just all it is. No, but I'm gonna step out and say, like, I think the Treasure Cruise community owes you a lot of gratitude and thanks. And obviously all the forefathers of the database, especially the anonymous guy that made guy made the calculator as well, correct?
He made, so if you go to the database homepage, it has like all the tabs that go to the different links. So he made the damage calculator, the character table, the drop table, the evolution helper, the slot planner, and the probability calculator.
Yeah.
And he made those before dual units existed, before sailor abilities existed. Like, it was a long time ago. So a lot of the features have been me trying to, because he wasn't there when I learned how to use the database. I started the database just being like, all right, here's this new legend, and here's his name and his stats, and I'll put in like what he does, and I won't really do much else. And then since then, like, it's just been, all right, dive into the deep end and try to add sailor abilities and limit break and like super typing and stuff like that. Although sailor abilities, actually no, I did do sailor abilities.
Was there ever a point where like you're trying to add something new and you just sit there like, fuck, I've got no clue what how the fuck to implement this?
Oh yeah.
I remember seeing a meme where like every time a new feature comes out, the entire community is cheering, but the devs on the database are just fucking
Solaris crying.
Like
super typing. God fucking damn it! Why?
Super typing wasn't as bad. It was super type characters having two specials, because we had that with dual units technically, where they had two specials. So that was something that I had been trying to do for a while, and then I managed to figure it out. But like, on the front page of the database, it literally says, with every legend character, the calculator breaks.
That is very, unfortunately, that is very correct.
But yeah, there's been, I think the biggest times that I've just slammed my head against a wall because I didn't know what to do, there's been two major ones. One was limit break, because there was ways to do it, and then there was ways to do it so that it looked natural in the database and aesthetically pleasing and stuff like that. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure it out. Like, I spent probably 2 weeks just trying to do things, and nothing hit the wall, and that's why I put off like implementing limit break for so long.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then support is the second thing, because I've been working on that still, and because a lot of the database makes these assumptions from 5 years ago. It's like, oh, we'll never have more than 6 units on a team. We'll never have this. We'll never have that. So like the infrastructure is such that if I implemented a lot of these changes, like for some people who are like, oh, you just implement supports by adding more of those character slots. It's like, yeah, I could do that. But like half the code says, all right, check all the characters and add up all their damage.
Right.
Instead of saying check the first 6. So there's going to be like hundreds of instances where I have to like check to make sure that it's not saying like, oh, when checking the damage, check for all 10 characters that are on the screen or on the damage calculator at a time. So
yeah, it's a nightmare.
Todd and I can attest.
Shout out to that guy.
being in programming ourselves, I'm in the same boat, man. You work on something for 3 weeks straight and it just doesn't work. You just give up. You delete the whole file. You start again. You're like,
oh yeah.
So no, we feel it. But no, I think from the community, like on behalf of the community, we really do appreciate all the work you do put in. It's without the database, would be fucked. Like there's no like sugarcoating anything. Like without the database and without like a lot of other resources that are community driven, the community would be fucked. So it's a privilege.
I don't know if you play any other gachas, but like I play Dan Memo, and without having a database like yours, it's a nightmare trying to like remember what characters do what and stuff like that, and having to find it. We have like a very primitive one, but it's such a pain.
Yeah, I've been approached. I've actually been approached by multiple people of different gacha games.
That makes sense.
Where they just said, "Hey, can you build us a database?"
Sure.
And I say, "No, unless you pay me."
Yeah.
Like, because like I've had 7 Deadly Sins come up to me. I've had not Dragon Ball. I think it was Bleach, one of the Bleach mobile games.
Yes.
It may have been, or it would have been the other one. But yeah, like I've had a couple people come up to me and say, "Hey, do you play this game? I think it could use a database. Oh, what do you think about this?" And it's like,
let me just whip one up. No worries. Let me just whip it up real quick. Easy.
Yeah. Like a lot of people think that like all the data in the database is pulled from the game automatically.
No.
But it's like,
make it easier.
No.
No.
You wish we wish it was. I mean, make life a lot easier, but no. So like even I think like even the 7DS one's a Google spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Which is like clunky and laggy, and it's
Yeah. Like I've said it before, but like with how many characters are in 7 Deadly Sins, it would be like for someone who is like half as knowledgeable about the database as me, they could probably make a 7 Deadly Sins database using just the same template, just copy and paste it and delete all the data and rewrite it.
Yeah.
It would probably take them like a month max.
Yeah. Definitely doable.
Yeah, but imagine putting like over 3,000 characters into a Google spreadsheet. Could not be us. Hell no, bro. No. But there will be some questions that you guys have asked about the database. So obviously, Solaris, thankfully enough, is here to answer them. So, but without further ado, producer video. Yoshi-san, he said, "What's up?"
Yoshi is the GOAT.
Yoshi's the greatest man in human history, and that is no cap. So we were treated, the global version of the Treasure Cruise community, to a producer video uploaded on the Bandai Namco, I think it was the North America channel. And this video was literally just Yoshi-san sitting on the camera. He was like, "What's going on, guys? I'm the GOAT," and he knows he's the GOAT. And he introduced us to 10.0, introduced us to the new game mode Pirate Rumble, the Gather Island, Super Typings. He said, "Here's 30 gems." And then he also said, "Hey, Global, you got a Global First Legend coming out too in V3 Akainu." But first, before we delve into all that juicy news, what was the everyone's opinions on like seeing that video just pop up and like seeing it on Twitter? And what were your thoughts initially about the video?
I'll let someone else go first.
What do you think, Joba? How did you feel? Did you watch it? Did you take it in?
Kind of. But I'm just really glad that they've become a lot more open on social media than they used to be in the past few years. And I'm really happy that it's taken a turn in that direction. Like imagine like we would have thought that we'd see the face of the producers.
Oh, absolutely not. Like with all the live streams, we're like, "Oh, okay, cool. You get to see the new manager kind of stuff." But seeing seeing Yoshi, and you're like, "Oh shit." Like we're getting serious now, but I thought the video was just really dope, and like I hope that they continue to make these videos for like larger bits of like larger updates and stuff. If just every so often, I'd love just like every like month or two, a producer video that like kind of goes over what's happening, what's coming out, that kind of stuff, because it'd be really exciting in that sense for the community all the time.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's great. I mean, we even talk about it with Chris and Nick, over the past couple of weeks, where like, they've said, Yoshi has come in and basically changed a lot of things, and he's very open and he likes to take ideas from people, which is good. He's very, very open, and he's very accepting of new ideas, which is good. And we've seen that. And it's awesome to see that he wants to communicate with us and he's
Yes.
showing off all this stuff here, which is good. And yeah, as you said, I think it would be great if, maybe a couple times, 3 times a year, at least 2 times a year, if he did like a video just to greet everyone and say, oh, this is what's coming out. This is what you can expect. I think that'd be good.
Without a doubt. Even like the 30 gems aside, like
that that on top of it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, we're used to like you watch the live stream, they're like, we're giving out 5 gems, and you're like, come on, dog. Like cool free gems, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man. But no, like 30 gems was sick. But I think what was really cool about like the whole thing was like, again, we're gonna reference back to that Nick and Chris episode a lot. But referencing back to that episode itself, like Chris mentioning that that Yoshi was brought over from Dokkan. That's a big thing when you really think about it. Like Dokkan has been very successful for very long. So clearly that like the development team or whoever's running, Bandai themselves look at Treasure Cruise as kind of like, it's in its upswing stage. So bringing on someone like Yoshi to the Treasure Cruise like to produce a team, it's like, there's a lot of faith in Treasure Cruise to continue like blossoming and continue producing a lot of like, a lot of revenue and a lot of like continuous players.
It is pretty interesting because Yoshi obviously working with Dokkan Battle, and before moving over to Treasure Cruise, he actually did do a producer video for Dokkan Battle in the past to show off like new characters and new updates, which is cool. So it's like he's brought over that same format over to Treasure Cruise, which is exciting. Hell yeah.
My one gripe is, why did they show V3 Akainu's Pirate Rumble ability at level 6?
And I think that's the max level. I think that's the max level.
It was level 10.
I'm pretty sure it's level 10.
So it is for all other units, but the way that image was formatted, I'm pretty sure he just maxes out at level 6.
What?
I don't know about that. That would be pretty odd.
There's a bunch of empty space at the bottom of that image, and you can see the scroll bar at the bottom.
See, I feel if that's the case, weird. I don't know how I feel about that at all. Like,
so it's like he'll be easy to max, and he's kind of
busted. He's very good. But maybe that's a completely global shift of it. Can we
imagine if they just all make him everyone maxes out at level 6 instead?
Can we put the GGP branded tinfoil hats on real quick? We're making a prediction here. Everyone put your hats on. What if they do that? What if they make it so the special maxes out at level 6 as opposed to level 10 on JP?
I don't know. Okay, I'm looking at it again now, and at the top it says level 10, max level 10.
Okay, that's what we thought. I was like, there's no way.
It's still so much space right under the level 6 that I don't know why the level 7 isn't.
They haven't finished it. They haven't finished it yet. Like,
they just want to see how good he is, and he's not even at max level yet.
He's bonkers, that unit. But let's go bit by bit. So
let's talk about him.
Yoshi-san, he came in, like we said, was popping with it. Introduced 10.0. So first thing he kind of looked at was, talking about 10.0. He talked about like being thankful for the community, all that kind of stuff. And Pirate Rumble. Here we go. It is time. We are getting Pirate Rumble finally in the game. We actually got a little gameplay clip of it too, which is actually pretty exciting with the new straw hats as well. True. Super type straw hats. So
that's true, because we'll get the Chopman missions reset.
Yes.
So that's pretty pog.
Exactly. So I know we've talked about it so much. It feels weird because we do sound like a broken record at this point, but like Pirate Rumble is coming. And again, it is now known as Pirate Rumble. So they are PRRs, Pirate Rumble Rare Recruits.
I was going to call them Rumble units.
I'm going to call them Festival Rare Recruits because that's what they should be called. But
just like you can't call them Legends. They're Sugo Fest exclusives.
We have no official capacity here today. So like, we can do whatever the hell we want.
That's true.
But no, we had the Pirate Rumble stuff come down, and we also got the Gather Island, which they're called facilities. How wonderful is that? So we got something right as the translation community, but we also got the Gather Island stuff too, and we got introduced to the image about super typing. So nothing really too spicy about like
what we expected,
but like pretty much everything we expected from 10.0. Also, he did hint at 10.0 coming out towards the end of September. Which is what we know is
the maintenance starts on the 23rd at 1700.
It's 24th for us. Sorry, Australia time.
Correct. Yeah.
But yeah. So all that stuff is very, very exciting.
And like it wasn't mentioned in the video, but there's also like other features coming out with the update, like the plus 300 stats.
Yep.
We're getting the increased box space.
Yeah, through box space. We're getting the new home screen with, and again, like Todd said, the Chopper Man rookie mission renewal will happen as well. So that's about 60 gems in that overall that you can go collect. Also, they have the revamp to the story mode. So there's going to be the challenge quests on, I think, everything up to Logetown. So I think there's like a good amount of gems in that as well. And those missions will not be hard whatsoever. So a lot of gems to get. So this month's going to be jam-packed just in time for Super Type Sugo Fest. And I mean, let's dive right into the V3 Akainu though. This is a good ass unit, bro.
It's pretty good. Yeah. I'm pretty impressed.
Let's go by. So captain, if you only have strength, dex, and quick in your team, increase HP by 1.5 times, and it increase attack by 4.5 times if there's a matching orb, 4 times otherwise, and makes Psi, Int, Recovery, and Tandem beneficial.
That's not bad.
It's very strong. It's very like nicely set as well. Like, it's definitely like what do you guys think? Like, do you think it's a tier 0? Do you think it's a tier 1 in terms of global alone? Like, where do you think this unit kind of sits in?
Captain ability is top tier for sure. Wait, Joba, you haven't? Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, you were supposed to say.
No, I'm calling you out. I
think you haven't known about this yet.
Let me get pissed off real quick, man. I write the show notes before the show. I tag the team to say that the show notes up. I have purposefully started writing in the show notes the captain abilities and specials of the new units, so you goobers that don't check this shit yourselves have a chance to look at it. We're a professional podcast here. You guys don't look at shit.
All right, I'll pull it up right now. I'm looking at the notes right now. Now I am informed. I'm an informed man.
Hey, Solaris, you want a spot on GGP?
Hey.
No, hold on.
I'm kicking Joba off. I'm kicking it's me and Solaris. That's fucked on.
Man, I worked like 11 hours today.
I know. You're working. You're doing your thing.
Speaking about this Akainu, man, that captain effect of having 4.5 of the matching slots. Matching slots are not hard to get these days, especially with captain effect like that. So the only slots that are not matching are like obviously the strength X quick, but you only can have strength X quick, so their own slot is matching plus Psi, Int, Recovery 10, and that's 5.
There's so many sailor abilities that make quick and Dex beneficial for the
Dex. Yeah, there's lots of Dex.
Or just friend captain LKG.
And I think that's the best part is that using tandem, the damage is just going to be ridiculous. Like.
And the extra health as well. That's amazing.
1.5 times is nutty. Like, I know there's always like that kind of like debate about what does it matter if a unit does it make a unit better if they have an HP boost? And for the most part, it's like it never hurts to have more HP.
The only problem is like when you get despaired, you just lose it all, which is a big deal. Like I prefer damage reduction units over health boosting units.
Yeah, I agree.
But still, like that's so good.
But
because like even if you get despaired right and you get rid of that and like obviously you lose all your health, you can run like 6+ Marco to get full heal or boost.
Yep.
On top of what he can do. Like it's pretty good.
Like, and it's just things like 4 orbs beneficial, 4 times flat, like a 4 times flat.
Yeah, that's still good. Yeah.
It's really good, especially for global standards. Like that when lore came out, like V3 lore, we're like, fuck.
Actually, one thing that I realized as well is like hypothetically, if you brought like so who's one? Oh, like Ivankov Bon Clay, right?
Yeah.
So the unit starts off as Psi. So as soon as you start the run and then you switch into Bon Clay, your health is going to go up. So you're going to you're not going to have all your full health if you start off with a dual unit that isn't, strength X or quick in the start.
I think like a lot of time though, unfortunately, it's like it's kind of niche in that sense, I guess.
Yeah, but then again, there's lots of good dual units like Vivi Rebecca.
Yeah, Vivi Rebecca would be sick for this
Don Krieg and Gin.
Yep. So many good.
There's a lot of good ones.
Luffy Law. Yep.
Yeah.
Luffy lost me. Oh my day.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Well, I guess because we're on the captain ability, what do you guys think? This was also a question which we can get into later, a little bit later into as well. But what do you guys think for JP standards when this unit comes out? Will this unit come out as like this is a PvP centric unit, or do you think this unit will be kind of advertised as like a strong like PvE unit? Like, what do you guys think about the standard of this captain ability in the JP meta? What do you think, Knight?
Yeah, I think it's really good. I would like to use him.
I mean, you'll get him off a ticket, so it's fine. You don't have to stress.
You're gonna get him, so it's no problem.
No, but
I think I'm getting him.
Congrats now. Before
I think it will be good for JP because they current meta is like super types 5 times captain. You got Luffy Sanji, sorry, being 5 times captain, but this guy is still really good, even though he's not 5 times captain.
The thing is that 4.5 times is still nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, it's still really good.
He's special though. Bro, like he's special. So his special just removes 3 turns of barrier, and then boosts strength, dex, quick attack by 2.25 times. Drops enemy defense to 0, and then does a defense conditional boost by 1.75 times. So self-proccing conditional, 2.25 times attack, and 3 turns barrier removal. Come on, dog. Come on, dog.
I mean, just comparing like Kuzan V3 and Sakazuki V3, like Sakazuki beats Kuzan in like every facet. I feel, yeah,
like he's very good.
I feel like that's always the case whenever they both get legends.
That is very true.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually.
No, but like, I'm gonna say also that I think we did predict this in the GGP app. Just saying, at some point. So you're welcome once again. The GGP crew has done it again.
Where's the love for Borsalino though?
We ain't getting Borsalino. Come on, dog.
Dude, we're gonna get it.
A very Australian joke, and it's just
What do you mean?
Compare the pair.
Compare the pair.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're Australian, you know what we're saying. Compare the pair.
You know what I mean?
We know.
But, like we'll probably get a V3 Fuji before we get a V2 Kizaru.
We have 2 6+ Fujis.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, Kizaru is still really good in PvP.
I was about to say, he kind of holds it down. So, but no, this unit is very good. Even his PvP, I didn't write down his PvP abilities.
I posted it in the OG chat. I posted it in general as well.
Grab it real quick. Zoom in. Enhance. So he does this thing so his PvP special is targets high recovery enemies, and then he gives them defense down level 3 for 13 seconds, and then he does 3.5 times his attack damage and targets enemies within a large range for damage over time. So some dot damage, which is actually really good, all things considered. So he's like a very bleed heavy unit essentially. And
the only problem with his special is I think it's a 38 charge time.
Yes, which is very long, all things considered.
Yeah, it's a little annoying.
Again, you could kind of look at it as like a bench unit. Like this is the thing we have to realize now with
he can run as both. He can run as a bench or as your main line.
Yeah. I think he's going to be better as mainline because his main purpose is to take out healers.
Yes.
So like the Otamas and the Shirahoshis, like he's meant to just nuke them first.
Yeah.
And then that ability. Oh, sorry, go.
Well, yeah, like you can pair him with a bunch of cooldown reducers. Like there's a couple units that will reduce his cooldowns.
And all I mean, like strength, dex, and quick is already really strong in PvP as it is. Like the color wise. And then his ability is so strength, dex, and quick teammates get attack up level 5 for the first 50 seconds of battle. He gives himself level 5 attack when the time remaining is less than 40 seconds, and all enemies have defense down level 3.
Something else I just realized as we're talking about him, V3 Law doesn't counter him.
Yes. So
he's fighter shooter.
Yeah, he's fighter shooter.
It's a really good combination, honestly.
Yeah, he's really good. I think he'll be like the top unit in PvP on global.
He might push the meta. He will be his own meta. Like we all thought, like with Law coming out, no one really suspected this at all. I don't think everyone was kind of like the first PvP Sugar Fest will just be a rerun, essentially.
That's what. Yeah, exactly what we're all expecting. Like, oh yeah, Kuzan, whatever. And the PvP rare recruits should be dropping. The Otama, Neko, and
that would be my assumption as well. I'd guess that we'll just get those 3. I don't think, bro. If they said, "Hey, y'all, PvP Whitebeard," I'm like, come on,
don't even.
Come on, dog.
That'd be the ultimate bait.
If anything, they'll just make another global exclusive and just throw it in.
Rumble unit. That'd be cool.
I could see that too. Like,
it works well with Akainu in some way.
Bro, don't do that though, because I have to pull on this banner and actually have to go in. Like, I don't want to do that, man. I'm not ready. But we're like, very excited for this. One thing that I did want to pop up is the gem sale that Global got.
True.
Terrible. It's so shit. Unfortunately, Yoshi-san isn't perfect and he still hasn't figured out how to do gem sales yet. But I probably don't blame him. I more blame Bandai Namco themselves.
Doesn't the gem sale end after the maintenance anyway?
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, I honest to God think it's just a bait gem sale before the new super types come out.
I was gonna buy after the maintenance. Right. That's probably correct. Yeah. So this gem sale is a generic gem, 80 gem packs, and then you get one of each of the high level scrolls. Terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that good to me.
You buy one or two, you call it a day at most.
Yeah,
but
you might as well save until the super type banners drop because. I mean, with that celebration, there should be a pretty decent gem sale alongside.
And I would assume they're gonna put scrolls in those ones. They're gonna have the break, gem packs for the legends as well. Like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, maybe
they're always really good ones for like the big Sugar Fest and they come out. You know, it saves you a butt ton of limit break materials to purchase those ones as well.
Actually, it'd be cool if if like you bought like one of those packs and actually came with like limit break expansion material.
I was literally thinking of that last night. I was like, they should sell.
That'd be lit, actually.
They should sell like a 60 gem pack, and it has limit break expansion, and then like charge a bit extra for it because there's a lot of limit break materials in that pack. Really,
yeah,
you know. But like, I don't know. There's a lot they should do with gems. We've had our opinions for a long time, unfortunately.
As I said, we always have the solutions.
As Nick said, you're dumb, pretty much. Yeah. You're coming with shit solutions, but you know how to pick out the problems quite well. So, shout out to us. Shout out to us guys for doing that. But no, 10.0 is going to come out. Very exciting. Lots to do. Lots to see. Lots of gems available too. It's unfortunate that the GARP challenges, I believe, go over 2 months this time. So there will be no reset for October. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it goes to November.
Yeah, I believe that's right.
That sounds a little weird to me.
I think that Global's going to keep this up, though. I reckon.
I feel like it's a mistake.
I think it is anyway. But does JP have all 3 available at the same time? Was there only 2 still?
No, we have all 3. You mean like GARP 2, Whitebeard, Whitebeard,
Whitebeard, Rev, and Duffy.
Yeah, we have all of them.
Oh, okay.
But we also had like the 2-month.
The 2-month cycle as well.
Oh, you only get an over 2 months. Oh, 1 month.
Like when Super Type. It was like when Super Type first came out, we had like a 2-monther, and then after that, it reset every month.
Okay, maybe that's the same thing.
Okay, it could be then.
Makes sense.
That sucks then.
That's lame because that's a lot of gems. What was it like 71? Was it 72 gems around?
Yeah, 71 gems from the past set, which is pretty good.
That's a lot. Like it's pretty good. So I think we're all very excited. Producer video was great.
Something else that I did notice as well is like with all of these events going on, the amount of login gems that we've been getting is actually
three a day on average, pretty much.
Like I logged in last night on the reset, and I got like 7 gems.
Yeah, because you got that 5 gem.
Yeah,
from the 10, and you got like the other 2. No, a lot. Like on average, 3 a day.
Those are all just Todd's Bandai Spy gems, yeah.
I wish.
Drake.
Bro, like legit. Even if you don't play the game that much, as long as you're logging in every single day, you're gonna be getting shit, right? So
yeah.
A lot of gems available right now, which is always like very.
Yeah, like even I do that with all my gacha games. Even gacha games I don't play, just log in every single day, you get shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, I was going to mention as well, there is a survey for the producer video.
Ah, correct.
That was on Twitter. I think it was also on Facebook as well. So make sure to take some time and answer that survey with some honest opinions about everything. Because, you know, like it seems that they're really taking a lot of this stuff on board and actually implementing it a lot faster than usual. So make your opinions heard through the surveys and stuff. And then, like, you know, we can maybe get these producer videos happening a little bit faster, a little bit more often as well, with more content. But yeah, that's Global. Global's going to be very exciting. Very, very keen to...
I mean, when's the next episode that we're going to be recording? It's going to be the start of October.
Yeah, so probably around Super Type, pretty much. I'd hazard to guess. Who knows, though? We shall see. Japan was kind of exciting too, and more like little tidbits of information here and there. So they got a new limit break expansion. So the most notable ones being the legends themselves. Shira Mancherry gets some stats, -2 cooldown, and that I think this is one of the first units to have 1,000 recovery without I think with candy as well. I'm not sure, but 1,000 recovery now. So a 4-digit recovery on Shira Mans.
That's huge.
It's a lot now. So very exciting to see that.
But the -2 cooldown. What does she go down to now for cooldown?
14.
14, yeah.
That's pretty good.
like more usable than than previous for sure.
Yeah.
Is it worth it though? I don't think so.
There's lots of characters to limit break expand.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it's kind of one of those things where it's like eventually when all the characters have limit break expansion, then you kind of start working on each one.
Yeah.
But like I don't think it's like a must do like right now.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Jack also gets some stats. He gets -3 cooldown, and he gets an upgraded captain ability. So now he gives 3.5 times attack, and which was 3 previously, and he does HP by 1.5, which was 1.25 previously.
Bruh, this guy's insane.
No EXP upgrade though, unfortunately.
That would have been lit if he upgraded EXP. If he upgraded EXP, that would have been like insta limit break expand.
Bro, done within seconds.
Wait, because what's Jack currently? Is it 2 times?
2 times, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just make it 2.25, like that's a huge increase.
I mean, that's crazy, you know, like that's a lot. But we get attacked at 3.5, so I believe this matches legend now. So the 2 utility legends are now on par in terms of attack. And 1.5 times HP is really good as well. So
Yep.
-3 cooldown. I mean, his special can be used, like obviously.
Special's not really that great, but
-3 cooldown, you know, always exciting to see. And Sai Sabo got the biggest glow up of the batch. He got stats as per usual, -4 cooldown. And now his captain ability is HP and recovery by 1.2 times, and he now boosts attack by 4 times. Previously,
is that 4x flat?
I think it's 4x flat, yeah. Woo! And it was previously 2.75. So, like, is it worthwhile? No, but is he now more worthwhile? I mean, more viable? Sorry, yeah, like a 4 times captain, like pretty good now, over all things considered. So, overall pretty decent. I don't think there's any.
He goes down to a 12-turn cooldown.
Yeah, like his special is pretty good. Like it's a decent special overall.
Yeah, I still use his special every now and again.
So having that at -4 cooldown, you know, is really good.
Yeah, but it's just a matter of like there's so many other better free spirit captains you'd rather use.
It's just expensive. Like as we always say, limit break expansion is expensive. It's kind of hard to justify things like this.
Yeah, correct.
I don't think there's many unless you're who.
No, unless you're just like
you're
hard or you're loaded or one of those things.
Fat ass rye.
Yeah. or you've been playing for a long time and you just have a ton of saved up material.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think unfortunately I don't think any of these are really worth like at instance. I don't think so.
Like when they drop, it's like, oh, I need to do this one straight away. Nah, you can wait on all these.
Yeah, I think this is kind of one of those things where it's like once all the legends have it, then you start thinking about doing it. But for the time being, no. A lot of rare recruits and TM units did get limit break expansions as well. A lot of them were just stats and new limit break abilities, kind of like the hunger one, and then the ship bind and the sailor despair as well. Or fear, sorry, not sailor despair. My bad. Gotta be real with it. TM Jinbe also happened. Knight, how did your TM Jinbe go?
It's still going on right now.
It's still going on, bro. I'm so behind, man. What are you ranked right now? How are you feeling about it?
I'm top 400 now.
Oh, all right, yes, sir.
Big boy.
What is I wanted to ask you, Knight, what is your like now that you've had I think this is the second TM with the new setup. How do you feel about the new ranking rewards setup with the percentage, like the absolute and the percentage rank?
Oh man, you're making me talk about it before I make my video on it. Well, anyway.
Oh shit, my bad.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I don't really like it. I really prefer the older system personally. Yeah. Like, I think you get a lot more personally. Like, you get like 30 gems for being like top 500, which I think is
that's more. Yeah.
More. Yeah.
Pretty sure it was more than we got before. I think you got like 18 for like top 500.
Give or take, yeah.
So yeah, it's like really good, but it's like kind of cancer because you have to be like top 500 to get like the extra like 20 gems. Like if you're not like top 500, you only get like the percentage rewards, which kind of sucks. But then again, like now the top like 1 through 10%, those rewards are pretty good in my opinion. But like
balanced out quite well, but it still kind of sucks that like you have to be top 500 to get double rewards. Well, not double, but like extra rewards, which is lame because a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see when it lands on global because I feel like from what I've seen, a lot of players on Global that are in New World don't want to be in New World. So it'd be interesting to see how those players move over to like Grand Line, for example, and how that changes the percentage region on New World.
I think it's going to make Grand Line more competitive than
it
New
will.
World.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so many people are going to be playing Grand Line because it's a lot easier to play in that as opposed to playing in New World. So, better for us, I guess. But then again, worse for us because then there's a smaller player pool, so the percentage becomes a lot harder to achieve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's going to be.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think people play New World still because that's like the best place to get the.
But this is global night. This is global. The global's full of weenies.
Yeah.
Global full of lazy bums, bro. They're gonna see. I can play an East Blue and use one team. Let's go.
Like, yeah, but it'll take like double the runs.
Yeah, it'll take 400 runs later. It'd be interesting, but TM Jinbe, a pretty decent unit over.
Yeah, he's good.
I think it's a 12-turn cooldown for his special, 7 turns of para and special bind resistance. If his HP, if the HP is full at the time, 2 times color affinity, strength, psi, and int, 1.75 times otherwise.
He's good.
Very good unit for Luffy Sanji. Again, very good unit for Bullet. Bullet is still getting so much support.
Wait, what color is Jinbe?
Jinbe is Psi.
That sucks, but still,
it's
still good.
Yeah. But no, it's very again, good unit. TM once again producing other good free-to-play units. Make sure you go farm that if you're on the JP.
No, I'm just thinking about that. That's really odd because because Global recently just had Ray Jinbe, and he's also a color affinity booster.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking the same thing. Like, he gets a bunch of color affinity boosters for some reason.
Legend Jinbe win. An actual good one this time.
Yeah, V3 Jinbe. I mean, that'll happen at some point.
Color affinity, Pog.
Just make him like OP. Yeah, make him similar to Bullet and give him color affinity with his special.
2.5 times color affinity to the 3 colors he boosts. It's time.
Make him super type.
Make him super type too as well. Hey, you want to make him busted? There we go. No, very exciting. Also, this happened like a while ago. I think we might have missed out or not talked about it, but we got some new Bam Presto, some new World Journey figurines. A Sabo and a Koala. They're set to come out in January of next year. And they're kind of dressed up in some sort of I would say maybe some Egyptian kind of style. They got swords on, maybe some
reminds me of Aladdin.
Very much. So that'll be pretty interesting. Always the World Junior, it's always really fun to see implemented into the game. So
it's weird that I would have thought Global would have had the Vivi and Rebecca arrive.
That's what I thought. I thought that we were going to get a World Junior banner a lot sooner.
I thought during the producer video he would talk about it.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
That'd have been sick.
And because there's the other set that's supposed to be releasing soon, the Ace and Marco.
Yeah, that's end of this month, I think.
Oh wow, that's that soon.
It's really either end of these figures really early next month.
So when Ace and Marco releases, they'll give us Vivi and Rebecca.
Maybe. And then there's another one after that.
Yeah, that's the Sabo and Koala one, right?
No, there's one in between those.
Really?
I thought so. I thought there were 3 batches that were teased and haven't been released, and then Vivi Rebecca came out. I think there's one more.
I only know about the Marco and the Ace one because they're in the detective outfits, and then I know about these Sabo and Koala. There's only 2.
The Holmes and Watson.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure. Either way, they look cool as hell, and the World Journey units that we've seen. Really good. I'd say from the last batch, the one with Boa, Croc, and Mihawk, from that batch onwards, they have been amazing,
really good. So always World Journey units are exciting, and it always comes with content, alongside it. So gems available. It's always good time. JP finally had an update to their story mode. You got a new story mode. Comes with the Katakuri, Big Mom, Flampe, and Perispero. Nothing much there to really talk about. All of them are
I don't really know why they don't make story mode units better.
It's so unfortunate because these the Katakuri and the Big Mom are actually quite good. Yeah. But you're just never going to use them. Like
I've had a couple instances where it's like, man, if I just had this story unit, like that'd be a perfect fit for this team. But it's so rare.
Yeah, it's not often you're gonna go out, like people farm them like for collection purposes most of the time. So it's just unfortunate that like the story mode units aren't really utilized that much, all things considered. Like it'd be nice if they just like if they kind of made a lot of the story units like from time to time available like as boosted units in treasure map. It'd always be nice just to have more units available. Like, sometimes story mode units are really good, so like it'd always be nice to have that. But alas,
it's funny because like a lot of the units that we get for free from like login events are typically better than story mode units.
Yes, I know.
Kind of funny. It's just they
hopefully,
don't care.
hopefully this is an upswing though, because this category I think it was like a 1.5 boosted or something.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, pretty good. And the big mum seemed quite decent too. So like maybe it's an upswing. Maybe it's gonna be a shift a little bit into some.
At least the artworks were kind of cool.
Yeah, 100%, without a doubt. The category one's sick. So
I'm kind of disappointed in story mode because after 10.0, it's just easy. Like
yes.
it's no longer like, oh, it's interesting to try to beat something in story mode every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Man, back in the day, some of those story mode missions were a pain in the butt.
You have to bring a specific team.
But 10.0, it's just going to be like, all right, cool. You can just auto it with a buggy team.
Because I don't know why they're so hyped up about this. Like, you can start story mode from anywhere. Like,
yeah.
Why does it matter? Like, it doesn't change. Like,
new accounts can go.
Yeah, it's because people just want to do the ones that give the most gems as rewards.
That makes sense. But at the same time, it's like they all give gems, don't they? So like you're gonna want to clear them.
Yeah, some give like 15.
Yeah, okay.
If they're part of the end of the arc, then they give 10, and then the rest give 5 or 0.
Yep.
Bruh. What are you just gonna not clear them? Like, well, that would bug me.
Some people haven't.
That's okay. Nah, we're going back to. We haven't done glue eating for a while. Actually, it's been a minute. If you haven't cleared story mode and you're like, you're not a new player, you haven't cleared story mode, you eat glue.
Joba's quickly rushing to clear story mode.
I'm just in the last 6, bro.
You think I haven't scrambled to get a few like extra scraps of gems?
Joba's the scrap king, bro.
Just a crumb, please.
Yeah,
extra gemmies. But no, if you haven't cleared story mode yet, like go clear that shit. Stop. You know what? Pause this video. Give it a like and subscribe, and then go clear story mode, and then come back and continue the podcast.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, again, exciting. More gems, more units, always cool. Very exciting though. I think pretty unique kind of units as well. We have 2 new Pirate Rumble, Pirate Festival PvP rare recruits in a quick Leo, Wicca, and Cab. So it's not a.
I actually have not read up what these units do.
So I've written them down for you guys. So
thank you.
So the pretty cool units. Again, these are going to be as JP has been doing and as Global getting as well. There's like a specific Sugar Fest that's tailored towards Pirate Rumble, and then from time to time we'll be getting rare recruits that are associated with like basically purely made for Pirate Rumble. So this Leo, Wicca, and Cab unit is a quick unit, and their special is 6. This is at level. This is at max level. So 60% chance to paralyze. They do level 10 defense down to 1 enemy with high defense, and then level 7 attack up to an ally with high attack. So it's a very unique kind of special there. So they do a big defense drop to somebody who has high defense. So I'm assuming it's going to be a lot of the bullets and Capones. I would hazard to guess would be kind of like
Shanks,
and then level 7 attack up to an ally with high attack. So it's a big buff. You know, it's huge. Like you can really power up a unit very quickly. And then their abilities level 5 HP and level 5 crit to quick unit. So pretty decent ability. But no,
it's like the quick team just needed more support, right?
Yeah, because Whitebeard wasn't good enough just by himself.
Yeah.
You know, but like we'll give him extra. And we also got a new Dex Franky. So he does level 3 damage over time, which is like the continuous damage. I think is how it's translated on the from the JP one. And then he has level 2 defense down to quick enemies. So there you go, there's your counter. And then level 7 speed down, which is pretty interesting. The quick team seems very high octane, very speed style. You can chuck in, carries very speed orientated. Like we said, like Legend Kizaru is, he's not a quick unit, but like a very good unit for buffing speed. So You know, it's a pretty interesting unit with Franky. And then his abilities, Dex units get level 5 attack up and level 6 speed up.
Okay.
Two pretty decent units. I don't know how they're going to fit into the meta, into the JP side of it. But, you know, there's a lot of creativity out there looking at, like, you know, I was recently doing a lot of research when it came. I was trying to build my PvP team now. So I was kind of prepared to go and doing a lot of research into it. You see, like, the meta shifts very quickly on the JP side, it seems. So
yeah,
really shake it up. But yeah, what do you like? I don't know. I think like with GGP from now on as well. We talk about new units on GGP. We're going to be discussing a lot of their Pirate Rumble abilities and stuff too now, because we kind of have to with PvP coming to global as well. So
yeah, with those Rumble units, I feel like I'm not really going to summon for them, like except for the Whitebeard. Like the Whitebeard just seems like the exception.
Unless we end up seeing like this Leo unit or this Frank unit like used like insanely. Like I mean, like a lot of the time, like,
yeah, that's true.
Then I'll summon for them. Otherwise, like the only unit that's like a surefire thing I want to summon for is the Whitebeard.
Another thing as well is like if they just start just saying, you know, oh, these debuting units, they come with max PvP abilities, like that's a huge
incentive. It is
incentive, yeah, to summon for him.
Like that, the fact that the Whitebeard comes with max, it's like it's free.
Yep.
Like it's no, like you don't need to save up resources. You're just good to go.
He just makes your team so much stronger.
You can put him on any team as well, and he's just good.
Yeah, doesn't even need synergy. He's just good.
So no, it was interesting to see what Atsu actually ends up saying with these.
I'd say Stasi is worth pulling for as well.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the Stasi as well is really. I think Stasi's kind of fun, and also the Kaku. I've seen Koro-san talks about that I think it's a strength Kaku from CP0.
Yeah.
Very, very strong unit as well. Like very good.
Even the Jozu now, like you see him
on the end teams.
And also the Calgara and the Calgara unit is very good as well. Nolan, yeah, that's it. Sorry. Very, very strong off the bench for just some quick, like just kill potential is there. So there's a lot of units that are seeing a lot more play now with the buffing system. The buffing system, the fact that they're looking at units and like continuously changing and upgrading the PvP stats is huge all the time. So
yeah, I would like to see them like do that more often, just for not just for PvP, but for older stuff too. Because it's like there's a bunch of units that just don't make sense conceptually. Like the character design, like the application of them is just worthless.
Yeah,
like Invasion Cavendish, like that's actually worthless.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Or like characters that have, I fucking hate it, the way they have remove special bomb by 5 turns with their special, but resisted by 3 with their sailor effect.
Or that stuff should just be upgraded.
That annoys the shit out of me.
That stuff should just be upgraded like outright. No need to limit break or do anything. That should just be changed. So it's
like you remember back in the day where they just straight up buffed Sengoku and Sabo. You know, they gave him a new class.
Yeah,
they should just do that for characters. You know, like twice a year even. You know, just like, oh, we're buffing these characters. Thumbs up. We're good.
Exactly. It would be a lot better. And then I guess from there, the last little bit of JP news, we've got some V jump leaks, which have now been, you know, data mined and good to go. But there was an image of a Sakazuki and a Borsalino dual unit and a Sengoku. And it turns out that these two units were Kizuna units. So the new long-term Kizuna unit for JP will be the Akainu and Kizaru. And then there will be a limited rare recruit Sengoku for Kizuna.
Both of which are pretty good.
Yes. So just quickly running over it. So at max limit break and everything, the Aka and Borsalino will do driven and slasher characters by attack by 3.75, HP by 1.25, and then driven and slasher will treat Psi and strength orbs as beneficial. Pretty decent captain for free-to-play unit as per usual. But again, this is a unit that requires a little bit of time investment. So you're going to be able to get to the maximum potential at the very beginning.
Or just do one Kizuna after they're all done.
That's also very
just wait, yeah.
If you're going to be lazy, we don't get it. And then their special is 100 times character attack type damage to all enemies that will abilities and defense. And when the captain is strength or Psi, for 1 turn, boost orbs of driven and slasher characters by 2.75. Otherwise, for 2 turns, orb boost for driven slasher characters by 2 times. And then it comes Aka and Kizaru for 3 times.
Reminds me so much of Zoro Sanji Kizuna.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think a lot. Like, it's going to follow the same thing.
But that's really good. So yeah, I was bringing up something earlier before we started the podcast, like because this is going to be the long-term Kizuna unit from what we can gather, and would make sense if it is. So what I think this is hinting at is because remember when we had Marco and Ace, we didn't know what that was referring to because it was just a very odd unit at the time. But on JP, where you could max them out was right before the release of Snake Man and Sabo Super Type, so they worked well with those characters. What I think is going to happen is I think that this character is going to be maxed towards the New Year's, and it's going to be helping out Legend Odin Slasher. That's what I think is going to happen.
We put it on the GGP trademark tinfoil hats again?
Because your captain needs to be Sile Strength. I'm saying, I guess he'd be a Sile Strength Slasher.
All right, there you go. That's the prediction. Episode 27. You heard it here first. If it's true, we're not the spies. I swear, I promise. But we're just really good.
That at least one of you was.
Nick did mention one of us is. We just don't know who. It is Craig. Craig's a goddamn robot. What does he know? Please don't disconnect on us now. But
oh no.
No, I mean, like it's very, very plausible. Like it makes sense in terms of like how things have been structured. So
but then alongside that, right, because it says it boosts driven and slasher. I don't see Odin as a driven character personally. I'd see him as like a free spirit slasher or something like, or powerhouse slasher.
I'd see him as a free spirit slasher.
I actually think he could be free spirit driven.
That would be interesting.
That could be driven makes sense though. Like it just does. Not like like just as his character as a whole.
He seems more free spirit like to me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he'd be free spirit driven.
I feel like he has to have slasher though.
I mean, there's plenty. We could get into a whole list of characters that should have slasher.
Oh my god, that's so true. But like, I think I don't think they're just going to release Odin by himself. I could see them releasing something alongside him, potentially like I don't know, V2 Kaido or something like that.
If they did if they made him like free spirit driven, they would have to release another unit alongside him that was a slasher captain. Maybe a Zoro, maybe something like that.
Roger.
They could do Roger.
Relax. No, it's not happening. I'm not gonna give you the lick of day to say that Roger's coming out in New Year's.
No, I doubt it.
Or it could be like Beard or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like they're gonna like just pull a lame one and be like, here's Zoro again.
I mean,
Zoro does need a good legend.
Unfortunately. Yeah. It's his time to shine though, especially.
I mean, Sanji gets all the love at the moment, dude.
I mean, we don't talk that Luffy Sanji unit is still just
disgusting.
Yes. Revoltingly good. So I mean, I think with the way the JP is going as well now, like it's gonna be 2 to 3 legends per release. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to have another.
Well, at least on big celebrations, there's typically multiple
3, legends. Yeah. So like what if there was like I don't know, what if Kaido V2 and like a Zoro came out? Or like Kaido V2 and
I feel like that batch would make sense.
I don't know. It's very interesting. Maybe some red scabbards. I don't know, dog. Say a lot of we'll make those predictions.
Either way, if I feel like if you ask the majority of the community, like, what character would you like to see become a Sugar Fest exclusive? Odin would be probably the number one.
Odin and Kuma, unfortunately, the 2 that always come to mind.
Yeah, but still need Kuma though.
Halloween is the perfect time to release Kuma and Moria.
No, I think they're gonna. I honestly think they're gonna do V2 Brook.
If they do V2 Brook, I swear I'm running up.
It'll be someone completely unrelated.
It's
gonna be Kobe dressed up as a skeleton,
or like a new pudding legend or something.
Kobe dressed up as a skeleton, bro. Come on, man. Don't do us like that. No, like it just makes sense, man. Halloween really.
Who knows?
Moria, like you just do that, man. Moria and Kuma, that works so well.
But... and then give 6+ to Halloween Ace.
Perfect.
That'd be sick, even though he doesn't need one.
He's still amazing. He's still very strong. And then also we have the recruit good man Sengoku is also out as well. So Reduce 6 turns of bind, special seal, and attack down the crew. Just that alone is fantastic.
However, he has a big problem.
Change block and badly matching orbs with the crew to matching. When the captain is a fighter or cerebral character, for 1 turn, boost orbs of fighter and cerebral by 2.25 times. Oh no, I just read the problem.
Yes, you see the problem?
I just read the problem.
Yeah.
The man doesn't have a freaking sailor effect that resists special bind.
Oh no.
Reduces 6 turns of it in his special.
Oh no.
I mean, there is one good thing about it though, because I guess he works really well under Shank's crew.
I was gonna say, like, his only saving grace is that, but at the same time, you don't really need a like.
No, but he still removes 6 turns of bind and attack down though, which is good.
I mean, like, you're bringing him for that sense, but what a waste of like that. It's such a waste.
Yeah.
It's always such a waste.
Kizuna unit, the Borsalino and Sakazuki, their switch effect removes 1 turn of Orb Seal and Special Bind.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's really good.
And they give
there's also a IamCobby as well that's coming. Shout out at him. He can do his best. IamCobby.
Oh, that's interesting. His special removes all positive buffs just at any time, and then the rest of his effects are only during Kizuna.
Yeah.
Not too many units that remove all positive buffs.
Most of the Kizuna units have been like that, where they do one thing guaranteed and then just a bunch of other stuff only in
but like that
Kizuna.
particular effect, like he removes all beneficial effects and then he doesn't apply any buffs on top of that. Like that's pretty rare.
I think there's a Usopp that does that.
Yeah, and like the
sugar face like the
the Dressrosa one. Yeah.
Yeah, add that in Bonclay as well.
Yeah.
There's also Bonkichi.
And now Kiji.
Bonkichi.
Oh, Bonkichi. Oh yeah, the 101, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a good unit, that one.
And that's about it.
We got questions?
Plenty of them, mate.
Oh, let's go.
That's about unfortunately, plenty of them. You guys aren't asking enough questions, but if you want to ask us, feel free to ask us questions on Twitter at GGP Podcast and on Instagram at GGP Podcast as well. And also on our YouTube community tab. So whenever we have episodes coming up, they'll be posted all of our social medias. You can ask questions around those areas. So we'll get into those ones. Let's get it. So this one comes from Twitter at Dylba. Great name. Thanks, Solaris, and everyone working on the database project. Is there any way that support boost, open parentheses, not stats, close parentheses, will be included in the damage calculator, like a 1 sailor boosting support effect?
I
mean, that kind of ties into like the whole idea of implementing supports as it is.
Yeah, I have plans on trying to learn the system a little bit better to the point where I can implement supports. But in terms of timeline, it's not anywhere close.
So, like, just as we said at the start, Solaris didn't make the calculator. Mm-hmm. The calculator has just been like iterated on, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's kind of just been built. Like the base was like the foundation was laid, and whenever anything new happened, it was just added as opposed to anything else.
It's like when, say you have a house, and then you decide, hey, what if I turn this house into a restaurant?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff you have to change. Yeah. And when people go in, they're going to look at it and they're going to be like, this is just a house.
Yeah.
So even though it serves like multiple new purposes, it's still at the end of the day just a house.
In that same metaphor, it's like you have to build an extra room in the house, or you knock down the whole thing and make a restaurant.
Right, exactly.
And knocking down the whole thing and making a restaurant is going to take way longer than it would be to add another room.
Yeah, there's a lot of dependencies like in between the calculator and other parts of the database. So tearing down the house is not an option that I'm willing to take right at this moment.
And then even like aside from just the database alone, things like the TM planner that like pushes the team straight to the calculator, that would completely be broken as well, I feel.
There's too many things that would end up just falling over if I tried to make major changes.
So hopefully, if you, like we said at the very start, if you have the technical ability, or you have if you want to get involved, make sure you you hit up the database Discord, or like, if you've got a GitHub account and you've been programming for a while, have a look at the code and get in contact with Solaris and see what can be done. Because I'll speak for Solaris. I'm sure that he would love any beneficial help he can get with the database.
For sure.
Yeah, it especially helps when like people are actually like trying to actively figure out how the database works or like propose changes. But like I've gotten so many people who will just take something in Photoshop and then just say, "Hey, do this,
man. Just do this, man. It's easy.
Why don't you just do it? It will look great." And I'll be like, "Okay, great. Why don't you do it for me?"
we actually have a guy like that. Flash. That's what when he was making his TM planner, I used to just say, he was able to do it, which was very scary. But he unfortunately he quit, so he doesn't want any part of the database. But yeah, like we said, just get in contact if you really want to get involved about stuff. The database Discord is always available, so go to there. At the Daniel Panda asks, what was your first legend, Solaris?
So my first legend was 2 years into the game, and it was Timeskip Luffy's debut Sugo Fest.
Jesus.
And it was my 7th multi-pull, and I pulled V1 Sabo and Timeskip Luffy.
Damn.
That's a great combo.
That's a good combo right there.
Yeah, you played 2 years without a legend. Yeah. Oh man,
I remember those. My first one as well. It took me so long because I didn't do that many pulls back in the day. I guess Solaris didn't either, really.
No,
those were dark days.
Yeah, a lot of my jumps were spent on stamina refills back then.
That's fair.
Because like stamina was like either 10 or 5 minutes, and there was bad skill up rates, so you had to farm like 60 to 70 of a character. Yeah. And I wasn't high pirate level either, so it was very expensive.
We didn't really talk about that. What's your talk about your current treasure cruise? Like, what's your treasure cruise account at now? Like pirate level wise,
oh my
legend wise. Like how's that all working out?
This fucking guy.
So my pirate level is around 1,160.
Mm-hmm.
My goal for 2020 was to try to get 1,333 by the end of 2020, but I don't think I'm going to make that at this point.
So. Don't think so.
Unless there's like a 20x boosting EXP ship or something. Yeah. But and then in terms of legends, I am missing just one as of now. There is one available legend that I could pull that I am missing. So I've been pretty lucky considering this entire year I just went free to play.
What legend is that?
Mihawk Perona.
Whatever. I need him.
Feels bad he pulled Rayleigh, but not Mihawk Perona.
I know, right? But I mean, I'll take it.
I mean, exactly right.
I mean, yeah, you won't knock that back at all. Yeah, that's very good.
Legend, so.
I mean, your Shanks Crew Sugo Fest, god damn, was insane.
I can't believe how many legends I was able to like check off my list for that Sugo Fest. And then even then, I got Shanks Crew like 3 times. It was actually nuts.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who pulled Shanks Crew pulled them multiple times as well, which like triggered people. Like I pulled Shanks Crew. It took me like I did not have to go all the way to the guarantee, but I was pretty deep. And then I did 3 multis on the Arlong banner and pulled 2 Shanks Crew in those 2 multis. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Can we just say again, like French Shani Sugo was legit like
Sugo. It was
a landmark moment in OPTC history.
It's not often you walk out of a Sugo. Like, it's not often you yourself walk out of a Sugo Fest with W, let alone all the homies with W.
I mean, I even said it as well. I felt like the Sugo Fest was too good.
Yeah, exactly. It was way too
It was insane.
Way too good.
Yeah, like I think 2 years ago was French anniversary with Luffy Ace debut. That Sugo Fest I went in on, and I think I pulled Luffy Ace like 4 times.
I think I was the exact same. I remember that Sugo Fest.
I'd go to the 12th to get him.
Yeah, French anniversary is always super lucky for me.
I think for a lot of people it is because it's always a good Sugo Fest.
Oh yeah, French Annie's always better than the any prior
Even the first French anniversary was better than the normal global anniversary.
Yeah.
It was every raid was available during 2 times skill up, and all the raids were half stamina.
Let's not talk about 5th anniversary though. That's forbidden.
I don't think we'll have an event like 5th Annie for
that's
like
taboo.
Now.
That's just taboo now. You know
Yeah,
that cheap gems, Gem Valley, 5th Annie, all on the same level. But no, hella good. At Freddy Y2K asks, do you think that V3 Akainu will be any good in the current meta in JP, captain wise?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He can hold his own.
Yeah.
I mean, if V3 lore is, then Akainu will.
Yeah.
He's just very strong, and then he has the added benefit. I mean,
but he will be definitely used as a sub for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like that special's bonkers. Like it's so much damage output from one unit.
When are we getting him again?
I think it would be right when 10.0 drops.
10.0 as soon as like the PvP Sugofest drops, that
Yoshi said in the video that he debuts alongside 10.0.
So after maintenance, the PvP Sugofest will drop and he'll be on it. Joba's checking his paycheck run. He's like, oh, when it
that means I'm gonna be. I'll see if I can stream that. But man, if we get a maintenance extension, I'm gonna cry.
What time is it Australia wise?
I think it'll be. Wait, when did it finish? When does maintenance finish? I know it starts at 1700, which is 2 hours prior to news time.
Wasn't it like 2 a.m. PST or something like that? No,
no, not that long.
Really, not that long.
It's not as long as what you were just saying then.
3 PST. So it's a.
Oh, it'd be 9 p.m. for us.
Oh, it's peanuts. You'll be fine, mate. What day of the week is it? Hold on.
The 23rd, so 24th for us, which will be on Thursday.
Bruh. That's all right. We move.
We move.
We move. Nah, it's good. Yeah, B3 Arca is sick. I think like I saw even Snowman made a video. He did his own.
Yeah, I did
a lot of the Japanese content creators have found it and are making comments about it.
Which is awesome, to say the least. Like that's so awesome.
I wonder if they're like jealous in any way, because I know that when on Dokkan Battle, whenever Global gets stuff first, the JP players are so salty.
I think Snowman was saying he's like in his videos like, bro, this unit's strong for PvP. He was like, damn, this is pretty good. Like,
yeah.
So no, I think it's awesome that they're actually a lot of the JP content creators are picking this up.
I think one day they're gonna discover us, and then we're gonna have a collab.
I mean, I'm telling you, I'll get Snowman on. I'll get Coruscant. You want to TSF? Any of you boys want to join? Guys,
translate in real time.
I'll do it live. Subconsi, where are you?
Live.
Subconsi, where's Subconsi at? I want him. He's next. He's happening. But yeah, V3 Arca, sick. From YouTube, from Geo, he asked Solaris, elaborate on the PvP tournament Solaris wants to make once possible. And the rest of our thoughts on it. So Solaris, you want to take the floor real quick and talk about this?
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Absolutely. Okay, so
go for
it. This is a brainchild of mine ever since PvP was hypothesized in the Japanese server. And since we sort of knew the format, it was like auto chess and stuff like that. Like I always thought like OPTC doesn't really have any like competitive potential other than just ranking. And ranking is just like, okay, you can no life a game for 6 days of your life because that's how long our blitz battles are and our treasure maps are. But PvP actually like has some like kind of intellectual like competitiveness.
It's RNG. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
There are elements.
There are yeah, it is heavy on the RNG, but like you can make a team that hard counters another team. And you can make a team that seems like it's the weakest, but in reality, like it will stomp.
Yeah.
And from that, I thought, well, what if I made sort of like basically like an auto chess tournament for PvP? Because we got a survey on the Japanese server, like right after the super type event ended. They were like asking, okay, how did you like PvP? What do you want changed about it? And one of their suggestions was, would you like to do PvP against friends?
Yeah.
And that's when it clicked. It was just like, oh my God, if we could organize people to play against each other in PvP, we could have a like bracket tournament or a double elimination tournament, and it could be the most like community driven tournament that like people have seen. And we know for a fact that the stuff made by the community is seen by Bandai and the developers and everything. So it's like if we can rally together some sort of like big community thing like that, I think it would be like a good step forward to like the developers and Yoshi as the producer. That's like, hey, we're like so passionate about this game that we will create events and stuff like that.
And you mentioned about like streaming the events and stuff.
Sign me up for commentary. I'm so down.
Yeah.
That'd be so sick.
I'm so down.
Atsu, when he plays Pirate Festival, Pirate Rumble, he will like commentate over it. He will be like, okay, this character is gonna do this. Great. Like, oh, this effect didn't proc. That's fantastic. They resisted this. Like, it's like the actual action of Pirate Festival is so much fun.
Yeah.
And we can keep it like just like with Smash tournaments. Like if a character is not, we decide unfair, like
ban it.
We can just ban characters. Like
bans, we could do a whole. Like, there's a lot.
Just like hey, like that quick Rumble Whitebeard. Yeah, he ain't coming.
Yeah, honestly, God, if we were to do it, ban that whole.
Or just like do a tournament where it's like only slasher characters or something.
Like the unevolved characters.
No, my
Sengoku says what's up.
Yeah, but then like we could have like these tournaments where it's like, all right, cool, we're banning all legend characters, we're banning all
100%.
That'd be
Rumble
huge.
characters, and it could just evolve into like this new sub community of people just trying to find different teams. Because right now the way PvP is structured, it's like, okay, you want the team that's best against everything.
Yeah,
but like if you know that certain people play like, oh, this character likes to play int teams, like, and I'm going against them in the next round, like, let me build a hard counter int team.
Yeah, 100%.
And then just bet that they throw out their int team. And like that kind of mind game, it just hits just right. And it gives me the same feeling as like an Evo championship, honestly.
Without a doubt. Like,
dude, it's giving me like strong like Pokemon like VGC
facts.
Dude, but just like the whole fact of like if it was streamed to a like big audience and there was commentary and it had like graphics and like like the finals and like it'd be sick. It'd be really awesome.
Yeah, like I would honestly see if I could get like a professional artist to do like assets and overlays and stuff like that.
Dude, you
gotta get people to do motion graphics. That shit's flames. Yeah,
like the league championships or like the CS:GO championships, like that. Those kind of graphics, it'd be so nice.
It'd be really sick.
And we can even have prize pools. Like if a bunch of people are watching, like if we raise money during the event, like I'll split it up between the winners. Like the top 3 get a portion of it.
Even like if you wanted to like, people that were really dedicated to it, everyone chucked to actually play in the tournament or whatever. $1 or $2.
Yeah, like it's like $5 per entry or something.
Even like $1 per person, because we could have like 1,000 people compete.
Much.
You could have a lot, and then you have people send screenshots as a proof, as proof.
Yeah, it'd be like maybe like a best of 3 to 5, maybe like best of 3 in general matches, and then finals could be best of 5 or something.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Double elimination when it gets like top 16 or top 32 or whatever. Like it'd be really awesome. Seeded pools, like there's a lot. There's a lot you could do there, and I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, like if it gets really popular, then we definitely have like we would split it up into like exhibition, like literally do the PvP style thing.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to do it actually, because like doesn't Pokemon like when you like compete in Pokemon, doesn't it have like you count your wins and losses, and then like the person's ice and stuff go through and whatever.
Yeah, like a win and a loss, and that and a draw, even a draw count. That like there's different points,
right?
Yeah,
you could just do that. It's like it's like. You put everyone into like blocks, or everyone into pools or whatever. You compete against everyone, and then like the top 2 out of each one go forth or what. Like, there's so many ways you could do it. And I think that's really awesome. It's gonna be really fun if it happens.
Yeah, because like the in-game like ranking system and how you fight people, like I get the ranking system for it, but it's like it feels super impersonal. Like it's no fun Like one thing that Atsu does on his stream is he'll look for like people on stream on his friends list.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, I'm gonna beat your team. And he'll like that's like the highlight of his day is when he just gets to like destroy someone else.
Always Samuel. Poor Samuel, man.
Always.
always Samuel. But
the big thing is that it all hinges on implementing a versus friends feature.
I think I think they'll do it. I honestly think that they'll do it.
So once that happens, you got to start rubbing your hands together.
Once that happens, hit my line. I'll work. I'll organize this shit too.
We can have the Good Great Perfect tournament. You guys can like host your own tournament, and then we'll have like different tournaments. We'll have Nick over, and he'll.
Oh, true.
We can have sponsor. I'll sponsor GGP this Pirate Rumble tournament. Like,
as he said, like they see that the community puts in work, and like if we make PvP or Pirate Rumble, whatever you want to call it, like such a huge like community event, and like people are literally looking forward to it. Like maybe it's a once per month thing. Like Bandai potentially could, help us out in some way.
I mean, like look at games like what is the Clash of Clans spinoff?
Clash Royale.
That's it, right? They have like the full-fledged tournaments where it's like 3 people on a team, and then you go one versus one, like, and that's just like. I mean, it's not like identical, but in a sense, like you could do that.
Yeah.
It's very possible. Like all that kind of stuff is very sick. Like I don't know, like the possibilities are endless. But it all, like Todd said, it does hinge on the fact that if Bandai does implement this, which I honestly think that they will, and it's a very high chance they do.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm so down.
That's sick. That's so awesome.
All right, Bandai, make it happen.
Surely can't be too difficult to implement.
Yeah, I don't
know. Then easier said than done.
Yeah, always easier said than done.
We are bad with solutions, but we're good.
Exactly.
I took like about an hour and a half today going through my quality of life list spreadsheet, and I added a new column and I titled it problem. So I'm just listing out what problem each of those quality of life things are trying to solve. So that way, if they don't care about the solution that we propose, they can at least look at the problem.
That's smart.
That's very smart. Like like Nick said, we're good at finding problems. Definitely not solutions.
That's literally why I did it, because I was like, Nick, you're right.
You're right. We are kind of dumb.
Yeah.
All right. From Diablo's Paradox on YouTube, he asked, "What was the hardest feature damage calculator? Like, so what's the hardest thing that you implemented yourself into the damage calc?"
Hardest thing. There's been there's been a lot of characters I've put into the database. I would say Franky was kind of rough. Like captain actions as a whole was kind of rough initially.
Right.
What
about Legend Sugar? How was Legend Sugar being implemented?
Legend Sugar, the hardest part about her, like it was like super typing was like easy peasy. Adding in the transformations, the hardest part was trying to get the stats to change, because when you're the toy soldier, your base attack goes to 2500 and then your cost goes to 40.
Yeah.
And when I was putting that in, for some reason, when I can change what the unit stat is before it gets read.
Yeah.
But for some reason, when I was changing it, it would change it every other time it would be read. So it's like, once you change it to 2540, it's going to stay like that forever. So for a while, I was having an issue with that, but I ended up fixing that.
Cool.
But yeah, that was probably one of the tougher ones. There's, man, I'd have to look at some of the legends that have come out.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was one that like hard stumped me.
What about the damage calculator in particular? Was there anything like that you implemented that was like just really challenging in itself?
There was, I think when we were implementing different types of orbs into the damage calculator, that's something that usually gets kind of cluttered, because originally when it was created, like you could only have badly matching, neutral, or matching orbs.
Yeah.
Like there was not much else. But then all of a sudden you had characters like Nekomamushi who cared about if you had a meat orb or not, and V1 Akainu who cared if you had a strength orb, and
like Wano slots with
Wano slots,
yeah,
10,
and like
orbs, rainbow,
right, yeah, like there's so many different types of orbs, and just how orbs are implemented is like they're added to a list, and then you bounce between them in a list, but there was never the thought of like, oh, one of these shouldn't be in the list at this time, and then it just ended up being a mess. And I remember because I didn't do the implementation for strength orbs, but somebody else did. And the way they implemented it was that for jumping through this list of possible orbs that you could have, I think it was like 15 lines of code, and it wasn't clean lines of code. It was like basically if you wrote a paragraph about the Civil War, like that's what this block of text looked like. And it made like it worked and it made sense, but it was just so awkward to work around. And then eventually I rewrote it because now we have like 7, because I have orbs for each type, because there's always a character that's like, oh, if you have a Dex or Int orb, do this, or but so there's like 5 of those orbs. There's G orbs, there's Wano orbs, there's recovery orbs, there's rainbow orbs. So there's like almost 10 orbs that can be turned on and off. So I had to simplify that down a lot, because even with the 5 that it had, it was already a very complicated block of text.
Was it I don't think it would have been difficult, but like with bullets super effective attacks, that wouldn't have been too difficult to implement, I wouldn't think.
No. The where affinity is handled is pretty like plain. Like there's not too much like complicated calculations there. So it was actually not too hard to get like bullets affinity in there. So like right now, for Kizuna, we have these limited rare recruits that get affinity. If you're in the damage calculator and you turn on that Kizuna map effect, it'll actually give them affinity in the damage calculator.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's not too difficult to do that kind of stuff.
There we go. Cool. From Octohaven, he asks, what motivates you? What motivates or makes you continue updating the database?
What motivates me, honestly,
the love for the community.
Everyone snapping at your feet to get shit updated is what keeps you motivated.
Lately, it hasn't been that bad. I say that, but the past month has been pretty bad. But I blame Bandai for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because they don't update their pages.
Yeah, like they used to be really good about it, and for like 3 months or 4, it was longer than 3 months, but every time a character would come out, like they'd be obtainable, and then 24 hours later they'd update their website so I could get images and the rest of their stats and their entire limit break tree, and I don't have to ask somebody or nag them for it. And it was fine. And then all of a sudden they do the Nolan Calgara Pyre Festival batch. And it's like, oh, they didn't update it. And then they did Treasure Map Sanji Nami, and they didn't update it. And then they did like 3 more Sugofest batches, a bunch of farmable rare recruits, a limited rare recruit batch, and they just never updated it. And it's like, even now, like they just updated 10 characters, and then they haven't done the other like 20 or 25 that are there. So like they're just unfinished until I either get the stats from somewhere or I get somebody to get them for me.
And if somebody can get them for you, is that that be in the would they access like or show you that through the database, like the database Discord?
Yeah, so in the Discord there's a couple channels that you can go in. One of them is screenshots. So if you have stats of something, I prefer screenshots so that way I can just get all the information I need, because sometimes like people will just give me like HP, attack, and recovery, and sometimes I'll need more than that. So if you just take a picture of the entire thing, I can get the information I need. But yeah, that would be the best place to do that.
There you go. Wonderful. From Daniel OPTC asks, for Solaris, will there be a database for Pirate Rumble?
So people don't really look at the database that often, because I do make the Pirate Rumble abilities translated and available in the database, but it's only for units that came out after 10.0 because there's 300 that got it before 10.0 or that were out before 10.0.
Yeah.
And translating them all seemed like a very big task because there's so many of them that do things based on different conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, some will be at the start of the battle for X seconds or at the end of the battle for X seconds.
Yeah.
And the wording for a lot of this stuff is really bad.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Like, sometimes it will say, oh, for Dex characters, boost attack by level 6, and then it will say boost speed by level 2, and it doesn't make it clear whether or not it's
required if it's Dex
for Dex or for all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
even with like the Akainu, like the new Akainu that's coming out. Yeah, like when you read his special, it's like, you know, does his damage that he does, is that targeting high recovery enemies as well, or is that targeting a large range of enemies? Like, it's really not. It's not worded well.
It could have been like I would have. It would have looked better if it was like dot pointed.
Yeah, I agree.
Like each line was like, that's the definitive, like that's what it is.
Yeah.
As opposed to putting commas. Commas is just ambiguous. You don't know what is attached to in a sense, but
yeah. But for his, I think one of his abilities, it was like semicolon separated for part of it. Yeah, so like in his special, it says targets high recovery enemy for defense down, and then comma attack 3x5's damage, and then semicolon. So
and then
it probably he deals damage to the high recovery enemy. So if they did that more, then it's like great, it's easier to read. But I'm not going to translate from Japanese and then try to deal with that constantly. So I just said I'm going to wait till it comes to global, and then I'll do like 10 units a day or every few days or whatever.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
Maybe even set up like a template on the Discord. People can help.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I get a lot of people who, if I get a bunch of people who I don't get, like there's a bunch of people that I will just take information from blindly and not double check it.
Yeah.
But if I don't get information from them and I get it from someone else, I still double check it.
Of course, yeah.
Cool. There just needs to be better conventions for the name for the writing out of the pirate specials, pirate rumble specials.
Issues with how they rate things all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, for people that are curious though, the game with PvP, there's a PvP page on the game with, right? And I mean, obviously that's all in Japanese, but for the time being, all the units are there, and Google Translate does a pretty reasonable job at, you know, making it readable and you can understand what units do. So for the time being, Game With's page is fantastic. So you can access that until we get a lot more information from the global side. And the final question, which is kind of a doozy, this one.
Okay.
From Bone Keacher on YouTube, he asks, is for everyone. What is your opinion on the longevity of the game on the global server? Since we know that JP is crushing it because we got top 10 grossing on French Annie and lots of returning and new players have popped up on the subreddit and the Discord in the last months.
So I thought about this a lot, honestly, and it's kind of hard to say from our end because I feel like for us, a lot of the social aspect of it is Discord. And you know, a lot of the people that we know who used to go really hard in the game have quit. I don't know if it's fair to say a majority of those people have quit, but a lot of them have. And so I really don't know because, you know, people get burnt out after a certain amount of time. I don't know how many new people are playing the game. I don't know how many people are old and still playing the game. I can't really gauge it, but you know, the game's in a good spot right now. Like they're getting better about giving gems. It's getting, you know, there's a lot of improvements all the time. So it's a way better spot than it used to be. So it remains to be seen, I think.
I mean, like, yeah, I hands down agree. I mean, like, just again, harping on that fact, like, you know, Chris saying, like, again, back to that episode, Chris saying that, you know, them dragging Yoshi from Dokkan is a big tell that Treasure Cruise is doing well.
Yeah.
You know, like Dokkan makes money at, you know, like, I think what did we say? It's like you slap Dragon Ball on anything and it's going to bring money, right?
Yep.
So like them dragging the producer of Dokkan, probably one of, you know, maybe top 3 most successful gacha games of all time, and putting him on Treasure Cruise is a telltale sign that Treasure Cruise is doing well. I mean, the JP side alone, didn't JP have like a Twitter campaign that was related to like returning or new players or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had like 30,000 was the goal, and they hit that, which in itself.
They had so many people return to the game that they added an additional reward tier.
That's sick.
Which is like awesome. Like, I mean, like, and obviously, like the percentage of those players that are going to stay playing probably is like, I would say 5 to 10%, but that's still another 10% that you've added on to your current already existing player base. That's on the JP side though. Global side is on that upswing. I feel with 10.0's release.
Yeah, global's hard because I mean, you got to compete against some pretty tough games.
Yeah,
you know, for their global side of things. But like as I said, during French Annie, a couple of the countries did reach top 10, which is very surprising for us.
Like, incredibly rare for us.
Yeah, so that's great.
So no, it's very exciting that Treasure Cruise on that. I think longevity wise, like I mentioned, that a lot of the OG whales, a lot of the OG rankers have kind of left, but then you have like the new guard kind of coming in. Like there's a lot of players. I mean, in particular, one being Alicado, like who has been around for a while, but now is starting to get those top rankings. And a lot of the top 10 is kind of solidifying themselves in a lot of treasure maps. And, so it's always like, it's an ever continuing cycle of like out with the old, in with the new kind of deal.
And another thing as well is like, once we see maybe like a potential mood change from Nick, I think, Nick's a good telling of how the community's going and how the game's going.
Yeah, of course.
At the moment, I feel like it's going really well. So, yeah, in terms of longevity, it's too hard to say, but
you never know. You could wake up and the game could be shut down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, this time next year, it might not even be here, but I doubt it.
I doubt. I think the money isn't what is driving this game forward now. It's more like the community. Like, I know that's kind of like, oh, that's cliche to say, but like, I feel like with Treasure Cruise in particular, it's the community and how much they're engaging with the content, as opposed to Dokkaners that are just like, people will not play Dokkan. I'm privy to this as well. I buy Dokkan accounts that have thousands of stones on it and just pull for fun. I think a lot of the Dokkan community is kind of in the same boat, where like they'll only play the game when like characters that they like get LRs or really cool units, and they'll come back and they'll pull and they'll play for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, which is why we see so many Luffy legends.
Exactly, right?
Luffy's like the number one character, in One Piece.
Most like character, after that Japan survey. Like, but no, I think longevity is hard to say, but I think for the time being, Japan's in a fantastic position. Global's in a really good position as well. So I think we're pretty good.
Oh, how's Line OPTC going?
Yeah. So how's
Line is, I don't know. Like, it seems like they're getting the short end of the stick constantly because like they're basically 9 months behind Japan. So even content wise, but like the events that they get are just so like backhanded. It's their most recent like daily gem event was like, okay, you get skill up, you get half stamina on story mode, and you get a gem every day, and that's the entire event.
Who would want to play that?
That's fun.
Right.
There's no way.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. And then they get like all the new legends, and like they get all the legends and all the content at the same time, but I feel like the player base is like just significantly smaller.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So they just don't put as much effort into it. But I don't know. Like the changes that are happening to the game are good, but I'm worried that they're not coming like fast enough, because I feel like we've had Yoshi as our producer for a pretty long time now, and we had like some pretty definitive moments where it's like we would have never gotten this change before.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like we've like it's mostly because the producer video is just stuff we knew already. Yeah, like that's basically what it is. It's like I wanted to see like, oh, here's a new quality of life thing that Global's gonna get first. Like maybe they're just banking on 10.0 and that entire update just being big enough that it's like you're gonna be overwhelmed by other things too. So don't worry about it.
I mean, yeah, in terms of content release, we are expecting a lot of stuff to come very soon. So yeah, it's going to be overwhelming for sure, especially with the introduction of Pirate Rumble. Yeah,
there's a lot of content. Like, there's a lot. Like, aside from just, there's a treasure map. There's like 2 raids. There's a Coliseum. There's a Kizuna. Like, there's a lot of things that are going to come out in the next like 2 to 3 weeks of the.
And we've got all the stuff that we skipped.
That's also true. You have Koala Kizuna.
Oh yeah, Kizuna Koala.
You have the sweet part, like you have
Blitz.
the Blitz. Like there's a lot of content still to come out for Global. Yeah. So, like get keen, I guess. 10.0 is on its way. So very exciting for sure. But I think that does wrap us up here today for another episode of GGP.
There we go.
I have another question.
Ooh, jokes.
What is the Solaris? What is the deepest you've ever gone for a single legend?
Oh,
for a single legend
in a single Suga.
Okay, so yeah, I've never gone in on a Sugo Fest to the point where I was pulling until I pulled a certain character. I've always said, okay, I'll go up a few steps and then I'll feel the waters out and maybe I'll do a few more. The deepest I've gone in a Sugo Fest was actually the Shanks Crew banner, and I think in total I went 16 deep. Maybe it was, I think it was 16 deep. And from that, I ended with only missing Kaido as in terms of legends. Like I miss more rare recruits than legends right now, and it bothers me.
That's actually
that's how lucky this man is.
That's wild.
He's never gone deeper than 16, so he's already smarter than the rest of us.
Correct.
Or he's just more broke. Am I right, guys?
I mean, hey, I'm
feels bad.
A nice, healthy gem balance.
Gem life balance.
Yeah.
Shit.
Was there ever a legend like that it took you like what was the legend that took you the longest to actually pull?
Oh, that'd be either Barto or V2 Dofi.
Interesting.
Yeah, both of those took me way too long to pull.
Was there ever like a banner that came out and it took everything you had to resist pulling?
I mean that's most banners because most banners I actually don't pull.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely been times because like I'll be open with this. Like I'm not like someone who has a stable mental state. Like I have my episodes and like sometimes it's just like I don't care anymore. I just want to do something. And most of the time it's like the easiest way for me to get satisfaction is to just like do pulls on One Piece Treasure Cruise.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So like, sometimes it's been like that where it's just like just let me pull, but most of the time I'm able to exercise a little self-control.
Yeah.
Shit. Resisting pulling, what's that?
True.
But I think that does wrap us up for another episode of Good, Great, Perfect. Once again, thank you so much to Solaris on episode 27 of GGP. All of his socials will be down in the description below. Make sure you go follow him on Twitter and on Twitch as well. As for us, as the GGP crew, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, just please do it. Like, hurry up. We do appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. About 47% of you guys that watch these videos are not subscribed. So make sure you go hit that. I don't know what you're doing.
Are you a glue eater?
Why would you not? 2 glue eaters in the same app? You're bugging.
Oh man,
you can't be doing that. That's just dangerous.
That's disrespectful.
But go make sure you do subscribe. It does help us out a great deal. Moving those numbers is always that's my serotonin boost. When I wake up in the morning and refresh YouTube studio and I see one more subscriber, it makes my day regardless of whatever else happens.
That's over here.
Exactly. I'm out there. I'm refreshing. Crypto is going down. Refreshing ETFs is going down. Refresh YouTube subscribers goes up. Makes my whole day a lot better. We do appreciate that. Make sure you like the video as well. It tells YouTube that you enjoyed the video and pushes it out to a lot more people around those parts. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter and Instagram at GGP Podcast on both of those platforms. Our podcast is kind of everywhere as well. So thank you to all of our Anchor listeners. You guys, go unsung a lot of the time. We do appreciate you guys a lot. You can also find us, on Anchor. Obviously, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Spotify. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure to drop a review. We do appreciate them. I do read them from time to time when they pop up. So always a pleasure reading those. But I think that is about it. Again, we're going to reiterate, if you haven't yet, go watch the episode with Nick and Chris. Probably one of the fine episodes of GGP right there. So make sure you go do that. And also stay tuned for a lot more GGP extra videos coming out from time to time as well. Without further ado, though, gentlemen, I've been Captain Papi, Cobb, Dill, Joba, Knight, Solaris, Todd. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Good Great Perfect Talk. Guys, next time. Peace.
Peace. Goodbye.
Bye.